Okay, what you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you follow me on my Telegram channel and also on my just follow me on my Telegram channel. I left a link to that in the live chat and also the description below, because we're posting a lot of different trading setups throughout the week and you're missing out on that. So make sure you check all of that out. Links will be in the description. But like I said, I want to talk you through what's happening in the charts today and see if we've got any opportunities coming up. So first, we're going to start with AUD/USD. And you can see with this one, we recently had a push to the upside. You can see in the daily chart, we had a big push on the daily chart. Price broke out of our previous daily resistance in the market. You can see with this wicks here, previous daily resistance was 10 support, and the price continued to the upside there. And you can see we did have a really nice push to the downside from there, from the previous resistance, and subsequently had a nice push to the upside as well on the support side of things. So again, looking bullish there on AUD/USD. On the daily chart, finally, we did see some bearish candles coming in, some strong bearish candles coming in as well. So potentially could be seeing price continue to the downside, potentially go and test some previous resistance, turn support in the market here. As you can see, this was previous resistance. Now it's turned support, so potentially could get AUD/USD to potentially go and test the lows down here. Obviously, the market is looking very bullish on the higher time frames, like the daily and the weekly. So if the momentum continues, we can go a lot further to the upside, but we could be seeing from a 4-hourly point of view, price pull back into this area here of previous resistance, and which turns support to go and find some extra buyers to continue the price to the upside, or either fall back a lot further, because we do have this trend line here in the market, which we haven't seen a test of in a while now, because you can see here initially test there, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So we've had 6 tests of this trend line, really respected quite well, and you can just see we kind of picked up momentum for AUD/USD to the upside, and we kind of just left the trend line behind. So potentially there is a longer pullback on the cards for this pair to contest the trend line again, and then possibly see another bounce to the upside, or price come further to the downside. Again, we could potentially see price come in and at least test that previous resistance turn support now, and if we break through that, we could potentially go and test the trend line there. But of course, the higher time frames are pointing to the upside. You can see we had a really strong bullish close on the daily chart, and the weekly we had a bullish close last week as well, and looks like it's coming through onto this week as well. So again, higher time frames are looking bullish. So if those time frames start to get control of the market again, we could easily continue higher without seeing that pullback in the market. But again, some strong price action coming in, so potentially could be seeing that pullback happen for AUD/USD. EUR/USD, we saw price come back up to almost the highs around here. You can see we didn't quite get to the highs there. We did find some resistance and we turned over quite well though for EUR/USD. However, on the higher time frames on the daily chart, we did see a bullish close yesterday, as again you can see had those consecutive bear candles there, and then today's candle, bullish candle, and create some higher highs in the market. So either we could be seeing price either roll back over again, or just continue and break through that resistance and go and create some higher highs, because it looks like the momentum could be shifting back to the bulls again from a daily point of view. You can see we had that push to the upside. This could just be retraced, and price is now starting to continue to the upside with that bullish candle we had on the daily chart. But again, strong resistance area is where we had the pullback from, so potentially could see price pulling back again, rolling over, and then go and create some lower lows, break through this low here that we just had that bullish candle from, then see price trickle down, go and test some previous resistance as well in the market, turn support. So again, really strong resistance across here, turn support, which we haven't had a retest of that level at all yet. So again, we could easily potentially roll over and continue to downside to go and test this area. But again, we are looking bullish from the higher time frames. Daily we're looking bullish, weekly we are looking bullish as well. So if that momentum was to continue, we could easily go a lot further to the upside. Finally, again, we did see some nice price action coming in there, but again, need to be careful because the daily is looking bullish again. So if the daily wants to take control of the market, and again the higher time frames normally win in the market there, so potentially could see that continue to the upside, potentially go and test the highs up there properly, or potentially go and break them and create some higher highs and continue to the upside. USD CAD, we saw push the downside towards the end of yesterday. As you can see on the Friday chart, a lot better. We had this sideways movement, this range on the 4 hourly time frame, as you can see there. there's our resistance, and our support was just underneath it, moving sideways. We're finding out which way price might break to. If break to the upside, we can go and test some previous daily support, turn resistance. But if we break to the downside, we could have been on our way further to continue that bearish trend we're having in the market. You can see we did get a breakout to the downside. We had a couple of bearish candles there. Momentum was looking good, and then price reversed a little bit. Today, this early morning, 10 a.m. close, we had a really bullish candle back into this area here. So again, we still got the support just above us. Now turn resistance for us in USD CAD. So again, it's not looking completely bullish yet. We did get some strong price action, but again, the previous support is turn resistance is just above us, and we could easily send that level could easily send price right back down again. And we see this is just a breakout or retest, and price continues to the downside. So that potentially could be happening here for USD CAD. So again, need to be careful before just jumping into any long positions, just because you see a good strong bullish candle there. We do have some support, time resistance not too far away, and if that downtrend wants to continue, and you can see on the higher time frames we are looking very bearish here. The weekly as well, we had a very strong bearish close there on the weekly, just broke through the support. So again, you do expect the retest of this area, previous support, time resistance. But then again, if we are having an actual breakout, price can go a lot further to the downside before we start to see that pullback. But then again, it is USD CAD, and we do move quite up and down, quite choppy, and this pair doesn't really trend too well. You can see we do have a trend here, but there's a lot of counter trend moves and a lot of bullish moves in this trend here before we get the actual move to the downside. So that potentially could be happening for USD CAD, but again, previous support time resistance could easily send the market down again, so be careful there. USD not too much happen here. Again, we've got support going through the market here, resistance going through the market there, and essentially just moving sideways as we are right now. Towards the end of yesterday and early this morning, we saw a price roll over for USD didn't quite get to the highs there, but started roll over, and we saw a bit of momentum pick up to the downside. Daily chart, again, not too much there, moving sideways. We got this bearish trend in the market here, keeping us in a downwards trend. Again, you can see trend line there, initial test there, second, third, fourth. Still due a fifth test, but again, with that price action, we are starting to look a little bit bearish again on the 4 hourly. You can see price come back to test that support there again, and if you break through there, we can come back to the lows that we have all the way down here, which again could be a nice area to buy back into the market, at least target this previous area of support now, or potentially come back into this area and go and test the trend line for a fifth time. But again, not really interested in USD as to where the market's setting up right now. Probably want the market to drop further to the downside before I get involved in any long positions for this one. Again, we're kind of just moving sideways there, and not really interested in that pair. USD we saw price break to the downside in the daily chart, nice breakout there, quite a lot of momentum, broke through the support, and then we saw price go make those lower lows. But again, like I've been saying, USD is running out of steam to the downside. You can see with those dojis, bullish candles that come into the market, small body candles, that we are losing a little momentum. We did see yesterday's candle give us a fairly strong bearish candle there, but you can see in the 4 hourly we're starting to retrace that move as we are currently doing so. So again, if the momentum was to continue, we wouldn't be seeing strong bullish candles coming back in so much. But again, potentially could be seeing USD turn to the upside now and go retest some previous support, turned resistance. As you can see here, really strong support area. We didn't really get any pullbacks to retest this area. You can see it just pushed the downside, didn't retest, and just continue to the downside there. And you can see since we're running on momentum, we could potentially be seeing that move to come and go and test that previous support, now turn resistance, before price wants to carry on in its journey to the downside, or have a reversal and see a longer push to the upside. Obviously we're not sure yet, but again, from a Friday point of view, we're starting to look bullish now, and again could be seeing a push to the upside for USD soon coming. Next, we're going to take a look at ADJPY. ADJPY is looking quite bullish here. As you can see here, you can see a big push to the upside, and then we came up to this resistance, and it looks like we actually create some higher highs here again here. So again, like I said a couple of days ago, we're potentially going to go create some higher highs for ADJPY. When we're here, we had some previous resistance turn support, as you can see, resistance, support there, and then we found some momentum, and you just continue higher. And I was saying we're probably going to create some higher highs for ADJPY because of the higher time frames at the weekly. You can see we're starting to create a new uptrend here. We've been having a really bearish trend to the upside, as you can see here, very bearish trend here, and then we saw price kind of break out of this bearish trend, because you can see the last swing high of the market was here. We had market test that area, push the downside, retest this previous swing high, and then you can see we kind of had a move to the downside, broke above it again, and now we're coming back above that previous swing high. So that is telling me that from a weekly point of view, and probably even from a monthly point of view, it looks like the reversal is happening for the bearish trend that we're having for the past 4 years, I would say. And it looks like we could be seeing a bullish trend here to the upside for the higher time frame. So again, from a weekly, monthly point of view, it does look like we could be seeing a new bullish trend in the market, which is explaining why we're getting those breakouts to the upside and seeing why we're creating some higher highs in the market here. So for ADJPY, we are looking very bullish in higher time frames. We create some higher highs and could easily see that continue, but again, could pull back to some previous areas of resistance, turn support before we see the market continue to the upside. So again, you can see in the 4-hourly here a really nice level of resistance here, push us to the downside, retested some previous areas of support there, and then potentially can see price come and go and test that area before we continue to the upside there. So again, if we do see that happen, can find the previous support, then potentially either see price continue to the upside or see price pull back even further for a longer pullback. But again, strong daily close there, so it does tell us that the price does have the momentum to continue forward if it wants to. But again, we'll probably do a pullback before price goes and does that. Yeah, I'll go over the CHF JPY trade in a second. Next, we're going to take a look at CAD JPY. So this pair I'm looking to go short on as well for this one, similar to CHF JPY as well. Again, we're right back at the highs here for CAD JPY. You can see here previous highs in the market, big resistance here. We look at the momentum that we came from this level, a lot of momentum, a lot of bearish momentum that we saw from this level all the way to the downside. Again, we've been moving sideways in this ranging pattern for some time now on the daily chart. Clearly got support down there, resistance down there, so looking to capture a swing to the downside for CAD JPY. My overall bias for this one, for the higher time frames, is probably to see price go and break out this resistance actually and continue higher. But from a daily and a 4-hourly point of view, I'm expecting to see a pullback first before you see that happen, because you can see we do have this uptrend in the market here, and you can see it's slowly running out of steam, coming up to a very strong daily and weekly resistance, expecting the market to have a deeper pullback and then potentially go and looking to go and break through that resistance. So looking to capitalize on a deeper pullback there on the daily and the 4-hourly chart before we see a breakout to the upside potentially. So that's what I've got in my head for CAD JPY. Similar for CHF JPY as well. So for CHF JPY, again, we're back up to these highs over here for CHF JPY. You can see here previous resistance there, we're back at the same highs for resistance. So again, expecting to see a deeper pullback for CHF JPY. As you can see, recently we had a big push to the upside, hardly any pullbacks on the daily chart, not really. Weekly chart looking very bullish there, expecting the market to find that resistance and pull back a little bit. Again, from a higher time frame point of view and from more of a long-term point of view, I'm probably expecting that resistance to break as well, similar to CAD JPY, because it does look like we've got a new bullish trend here on the weekly. As you can see, we're having this bearish trend here. Now we've started creating those higher highs. We created some higher highs here. We got turned into support, and we saw a big push to the upside. So again, the weekly trend is to the upside, and probably going to be expecting a break of that high to come soon. But again, from a daily point of view, you can see we are quite extended to the upside. Really didn't have any pullbacks yet. So again, looking for that pullback to happen soon. And again, the most likely place that pullback could happen is at this previous resistance that sent us to the downside in the first place. So again, looking to capitalize on that. Again, we do have previous resistance along here. So again, that probably will be a really nice target to look for. So again, previous resistance will be turned support. So looking for a test of that, or potentially you can go a lot further and go and test this area before we see price continue to the upside there. So that's what I'm looking for for CHF JPY, and I entered on the recent candle there, and looking for price to continue to the downside for that trade. Again, we can go a lot further if the momentum continues, because the previous resistance in the day chart is very strong there, so go and look for that to continue. So I hope that analysis helped for CHF JPY. Next, we can take a look at Euro GBP. This one we saw a recent push to the upside, quite a big push actually. Again, previous support just turned resistance, and we saw a big push. We came to this really key level here in the market, and I was saying for quite a long time ago, since we're up here actually, that price is probably going to come to this level and see a big push to the upside and finally breakout of this corrective pattern that we've been having here. So as you can see, we've got this trend line here keeping us in the downtrend. Price was just kind of correctly moving to the downside, found the key level in the market, and then we saw a big push to the upside there. So again, really big push to the upside for Euro GBP. Found some new highs there. Again, kind of corrected itself there once we broke through that trend line, and it looks like the momentum's still going to the upside. So again, previous resistance here, all along here. We came to that area yesterday, and then it looks like we're breaking out of it today. Of course, we still got the majority of today left before we see the daily candle close. So easy, we could pull back and just give a wick to the upside. That is still a possibility, but again, the momentum looks like it's taking us to the upside, and we could easily see price continue to the upside. Again, previous highs all the way up here, which sent us down in this corrective way. So if you do get closed above this level here, I'm probably going to be thinking we're coming up to this high next. So again, if you do get closed above there, looking for Euro GBP to continue to the upside to go and test the highs up here. But if you do see a wick to the upside, potentially could be seeing another pullback before we see another push to the upside. But my bias is to the upside for Euro GBP, and even from a higher time frame point of view, it does look like we're still moving to the upside for that pair. Next, we're going to take a look at GBP/JPY. Now for GBP/JPY, for this pair, we've been looking quite bearish here. We did have some strong support area going through the market here on the 4-hourly. If I jump to the 4-hourly there, you can see a really nice strong support area. It was holding the market quite well, keeping us kind of just moving sideways really. I wouldn't really say an uptrend, because we didn't really create higher highs there, kind of just stuck at that resistance. So kind of just moving sideways, and then this morning 10 a.m. close, we saw a really big strong bearish candle breaking through that support and creating some new lows. So GBP/JPY is definitely looking very bearish here. Again, we had the price action up these highs here, took us to the downside. We could easily have seen it bounce back up, but again, the momentum said no, and we saw a big break of that support. So again, for GBP/JPY, looking very bearish again, but we're coming up to some more support areas. So again, GBP/JPY is a little bit choppy at the moment, because there's kind of a lot of support resistance, a lot everywhere really, and not even just any support resistance key levels. As you can see here on the daily chart, really key area of resistance, really key area of support, now turn support there again as well. So again, not really the cleanest market to trade at the moment. GBP/JPY, you can see in the past few months ago during August, July, it was really nice to trade, because again, you can see the difference between the support resistance was quite spaced out, and the market was trending quite well. Here it's a lot choppier. A lot of key levels are kind of bunched up together here, so it'd be interesting to see if you do get a break of that support there. And if you do, I believe we've got a trend line for GBP/JPY we could be getting a test of soon, as you can see here. So initial test there, second there, third there, could be getting a fourth test of that trend line soon if we do get a break of that support, and then either see another push back to the upside again, keeping on this uptrend, or see more of a counter trend move if you do see a break of that trend line. But again, the overall bias for GBP/JPY is probably still to be bearish and have a move to the downside, go and test that trend line, and then probably make another judgment from then on to see if we can carry that on to the upside, or see a longer push back down. Next, we'll take a look at GBP/USD. Again, similar to GBP/JPY, both GBP in these pairs, again looking bearish as well. And we did see price come back to a really strong area of support in the market. As you can see here, resistance there, resistance there. This is the 4-hourly chart. Resistance, support all along here, support there again, and support there again. And then this morning, 10 a.m. candle just took us all the way down and broke us through that support area in the market. So again, GBP/USD, GBP/JPY all looking bearish. In fact, all GBP pairs are looking bearish really against every single pair really. So again, looking very bearish here. Again, on the daily chart, we've got this trend line keeping us in the uptrend in the market. So again, initial test there, second, third, fourth, expecting a fifth test of that trend line for GPUSD. And again, make another judgment when we get to that trend line, whether we're going to see another push back up, or we're going to finally see more of a counter trend move and see price break through that trend line and see a longer move to the downside, where we could potentially come back, test some previous lows in the market. As you can see, really nice key level through here. Previous support gave us that move to the upside. Could we come back to that area, or maybe even the 200 average, which is not too far away. So again, expecting price to probably continue to the downside for GPUSD and probably go and create some new lows there. Next, we'll take a look at NZD CAD. Now for NZD CAD, we saw a nice move to the downside recently. I was actually in that trade not too long ago. Now we can see we're just moving sideways really. And again, you can see why previous resistance now turned support in the market. I did say for NZD CAD we didn't get any pullbacks into this area. We saw price break out that resistance on the daily chart, and we didn't see any pullbacks for the area. And you can see we're kind of just moving quite choppy to the upside, not a lot of momentum. So the chances are we're going to break to the downside and probably come and test that level, that previous resistance turned support. And we could have done it with quite an impulse in price action. As you can see, that's exactly what happened. We fell to the downside quite nicely. We tested that support and now kind of just sort of looking bullish, but effectively just really moving sideways really for NZD CAD. As you can see, a lot of choppy price action on the 4-hour time frame. Again, we're right back at the previous highs that we're making on the 4-hourly across here. So again, it'll be interesting to see if you see a breakout of that area. If you do see a breakout of that area for NZD CAD, we're probably going to come back and retest the highs the previous support that we had up here, or maybe even higher than that if we were to look very bullish. But NZD CAD moving sideways, again, just depends which way it wants to break out to. Breaks to the upside, we're probably going up there. Breaks to the downside, again, we do have a lot of downside targets for NZD CAD. Again, you can see previous resistance here, where we turn support. And again, we've got a really nice key level going through the market along here as well. Resistance, resistance, resistance as well. So again, we'll be acting as resistance there. So again, multiple targets to the downside for NZD CAD. So far, kind of just moving sideways. But again, bias is really not clear at this moment in time, since we're kind of stuck in that range. And finally, take a look at NZD JPY. Now, NZD JPY, strong bullish close to the upside yesterday, as you can see for Thursday's candle, and you can see why we had some previous resistance and support in the market. You can see how to push to the upside, so that bearish candle come in, a couple of dojis, price broke to the upside, retested it as support, and we saw that momentum continue to the upside. So for NZD JPY, we're back at those highs. Overall trend is to the upside and still looking bullish, especially with that yesterday's close. So we could easily see the momentum take us higher. But again, we're right back at those highs there of resistance, which sent us down in the first place. We didn't really create any new highs there on the daily chart and the Friday as well. You can see if I draw this line here, the previous highs, we kind of didn't even get to it. We got near it. Now we start to roll over for NZD JPY and the Friday. So again, if price wants to continue that momentum, it could easily do so. From a daily point of view, from a weekly point of view, we are looking very bearish. But I believe there's a longer swing to the downside for this one, just to have some retrace. You can see on the weekly chart, quite extended there. No pullbacks really. Broke out of this area in the market here. Previous resistance across here. No pullbacks. So again, expecting a move to the downside to go and test that previous area of resistance as support now for a weekly point of view. Daily, again, right back at that resistance, expecting to see the market roll over again. And Friday, again, we're already starting to look bearish there. So again, could be seeing that momentum take us back down. Probably going to wait for a close below our moving averages to get into this, because again, you can see on the daily we are looking bullish. So I don't want to jump the gun too much with NZD JPY, because the momentum could easily take us back higher again. So again, no real trade for us as of yet for NZD JPY, but we could be seeing a longer swing back to the downside. So currently still in CAD JPY and CHF JPY as well. Two trades that I sent out on my Telegram channel just before the live stream. So if you haven't joined that, make sure you join it, because again, sharing a lot of different trades throughout the week, and don't be missing out on that. Links will be in the description and in the live chat as well, so make sure you go check that out. But yeah, currently just in those two positions at the moment. I'm just going to see how they get on throughout the live stream. If anyone wants me to look at any different charts, any different markets, any different pairs, and just wants my analysis on it, just drop it in the live chat, and I'll make sure I'll give you some analysis on that pair. and give you my thoughts and opinions as well. So just going to see how different pairs play out today. Going to keep an eye out on my trades as well, and just keep you guys updated what's going on in the markets throughout the live stream. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at Euro, UAD and GB CAD. Okay, so we can start with GP CAD. Okay, for this one, we'll start with the daily time frame. We saw a big push to the downside recently. A lot of the GP weakness we're seeing in the markets so far this week. Again, we have this trend line keeping us in the uptrend for GP CAD. You can see it really nice push to the downside. And then we're kind of just moving to the upside very correctively, and probably expecting our momentum to probably shift back to the downside there. We came back to the highs up here. You can see this is what gave us the move to the downside effectively for GP CAD. Saw price correctly move back to the upside, test this area. Broke through the trend line, kind of retested it again with that bullish candle. You can see we have those wicks to the downside, retested that bullish candle along with the 200 average on the daily, and again that momentum just rolled over and we continue back to the downside. So the GB CAD, we're coming back to the lows that we previously were at back over here. It looks like it could be seeing a bounce from that potentially. Again, you can see GB CAD is a pair that moves up and down quite a lot, does have a lot of momentum in it, but again the overall trend on the market is not really that clear for GB CAD. We're kind of just moving up and down. You can see for the past year really kind of just moving at the same direction, just going sideways but moving up and down. So again, probably could be expecting a bounce for GB CAD, potentially come to a really strong area of support. This is where we had the bullish counter trend move to the upside from. So again, potentially probably see price maybe move to the downside a little bit further, since the momentum is very bearish on the daily chart. For hourly, again, you can see you had that push, retrace, retest the trend line, and push back down again. And then again this morning, well, over the last night as well, we saw price kind of correctly moving sideways, break to the downside again. So again, you want to be seeing some strong bullish price action coming back into the market here to either take this back higher. Again, I wouldn't be so sure about selling the market right now, since we are coming back to this daily support area, and you can see for the past few months has been keeping us moving to the upside here and kind of just holding the market quite well. So again, coming to a really strong area of support, did break for that trend line, coming to this area. Want to see that momentum start to slow down first, and then potentially be seeing move back to the upside and take this back high again. Daily, the momentum is very bearish, and 4 hourly again looking very bearish as well for that 10 a.m. close. So again, probably biases back to the upside, go retest some previous areas in the market here. Hourly as well, probably looking bearish. Yeah, hourly is looking bearish as well. So again, wait for that momentum to start to die out, then potentially can look to take that higher with some strong price action for GP CAD, because again the market is looking very bearish. Or maybe to see another push to the upside, then probably can look to short it again for on the hourly time frame. But again, probably wouldn't want to short it where we are now, just because we're coming into that daily support. So probably want to short it if the market has another pullback, then you can probably take advantage of that and another move to the downside. But again, longer term from a 4 hourly point of view, and probably daily as well, probably expecting a push to the upside soon, since we're coming up to that area, but could see the market move a little bit further to the downside for GB CAD. And for Euro AUD, for this one we are looking very bearish now on the daily chart as well. You can see for some time now we've just been moving sideways. We clearly got resistance just above us there. This was a false breakout. We saw price come up, looked to retest it, but then just roll over and broke back below. So that was a false breakout, catching people the wrong side of the market. Then again, we had this support area all through the market here. So again, we're kind of broken through that support area a little bit for EURUSD. This was the market, this was the support and resistance that was keeping us in that range. But again, you can see we did wick to the downside quite well all the way down here when we first started coming into that range. So again, that's probably the lower support there. If we break through that support area, we could be going on a much longer trend to the downside. You can see on the weekly as well. That was kind of our lows that we've had for a long time. So if you break through that level, again, we could be seeing price really go to the downside for EURUSD. But again, like I said, we've got the wick there. I've drawn the level connecting the lows of the wick. So again, you can see we haven't broken that level there for EURUSD. So we're right back at the lows for this market. And again, probably going to be expecting another bounce to the upside. You can see last time we were at the lows here, we wicked into the area, came back to retest the area a little bit. Then we saw a big push to the upside back to the highs up here. So I'm not saying that for EURUSD we can potentially come back to the highs up here. But again, we're probably going to be expecting a bullish reaction from the lows from here, definitely from a daily point of view anyway. So again, coming back to the lows here. For hourly, you can see we're already starting to have that bullish reaction to the upside. Big push to the downside, a lot of bearish momentum. You can see quite a lot of wicks around here, a lot of indecision. since we're coming up to that really strong area of support, and now we're starting to look bullish. And hourly as well, we saw a strong bullish close a couple hours ago now. As you can see, that engulfing candle engulfing a few candles down the hourly time frame, so looking bullish there. Potentially could be seeing that momentum continue. Need to watch out for this trend line on the hourly chart if you're looking to trade this time frame. As you can see, we've got this trend line here keeping us in the bearish trend. Initial test there, second, third, now having a fourth test. So again, need to watch out for that. But again, if price does break through that, we could be seeing a longer move to the upside from an hourly time frame. Potentially go and test the highs up here, which is where we had our previous downtrend to start with. So again, from an hourly point of view, biases to the upside, 4-hourly biases to the upside, and daily biases to the upside, just because of the level of where we're at. And since it's just the kind of the lows here, and if we break through this, we could be seeing a longer move to the downside. So again, expecting move to the upside for Euro AUD, and again, potentially going to test some previous areas of support and resistance. Again, a really nice support going through here on the 4-hourly chart. Potentially can go and test that area. Maybe see another move back down again, or see price break higher. So for Euro AUD, expecting a longer push to the upside, hourly as well, and potentially going to break through that level and go and test some highs up there. So again, bias to the upside for Euro AUD and GBP CAD as well, but just be careful and wait for some confirmation before jumping into any trade. So I hope that analysis helped on Euro AUD and GBP CAD. Okay, so it's just gone 12:30. I'm going to look to end the live stream shortly, but I'm going to do a quick rundown of some of the charts that I've looked at since 10 a.m., see how they've gotten on, and also a quick update on my current trade. So AUD/USD, still see we had that nice price action in the hourly. Looks like we definitely found some resistance there. We could be seeing the market retrace a little bit into this previous area I was talking about at 10 a.m. You can see previous resistance for us there. On the 4-hourly will be acting as support, and of course we've got the trend line going through the market here. Potentially could see a deeper pullback into this area potentially for AUD/USD. If we jump to the hourly, you can see we're kind of just wicking around to the upside, really not too much movement in the market. They're just really moving sideways. Again, it is Friday, it's the end of the week, so again the market is about to close soon for the weekend. The weekly candle is about to close. You can see the weekly candle is going to be closing quite bullish there. So again, could potentially be seeing the start of next week. We see AUD/USD maybe roll into this area potentially and have another push to the upside again, or maybe into the trend line. But for now, we are starting to look bearish, but won't be so eager to jump into any sells there, just because coming up to the Friday, and again the higher time frames are still looking very bullish. EUR/USD, similarly, we did have that strong bearish candle coming in at 10 a.m. But then again, on the daily chart, you can see the momentum is looking like it's pointing back to the upside. Again, we had that pullback there. Then we had that engulfing candle yesterday on Thursday, looking very bullish. So again, the momentum could be taken back to the upside. I was saying that potentially we can see a deeper pullback potentially for EUR/USD to around this area here. Again, you can see previous resistance there. This is where our previous high was, and again previous resistance there as well, just before we broke through it. So again, a really nice area of resistance will be turned support. So I was saying potentially could see a pullback into that area to go and retest it, since when we broke out we didn't really get a retest, we just saw price just continue to the upside. So potentially you can get retest that area before price continues back to the upside, or again rolls over and breaks through that area. But again, we could be seeing that key level getting tested. But then we've got that Thursday candle looking very bullish, engulfing three previous bearish candles there. So the momentum could easily take us to the upside. Again, it is Friday, so not a lot of volatility in the charts right now, and the weekly candle is about to close as well, which is a doji, represents a little bit of indecision. So we could see next week price roll over and go and test this previous area of resistance on the daily and support as well. So that could be a chance, but again, this is all for next week really. Again, the market looks like it is losing a little bit of momentum, but for EUR/USD on the hourly, not too much really going on, just moving sideways. USD CAD, we saw push the downside and broke out of this range that we had. Again, that was our previous support, broke through it. That was time resistance for us again. So it's either this could be a false breakout or price just retesting and continue to the downside. Obviously, we're not sure yet, but again, we did see a longer move to the downside from a daily, so we are due a deeper pullback and a retrace in the market. You can see we broke out this previous support in the market here. No retest, just a straight break of that area. So could be seeing price going to find some resistance at that previous area of support, and have a deeper pullback there. So again, if that was the case, we'd be seeing a false breakout here, obviously. But again, previous support is now turned resistance in the downtrend. You can easily see the price roll over and continue to the downside. Again, current candle on the hourly just got wicks to either side, not too much going on there. But again, it would be nice if that bullish candle at 10 a.m. closed above that area of resistance. Then we could probably say, yeah, we've got a false breakout, and we could be seeing more of a counter trend move to the upside. As of yet, there's no real trade for us. UCJ4Y starting to look a little bit bullish again. Previous support all across here, didn't quite get to that, so we might see price roll back over and go and test that support. But again, no real trade for us, essentially just moving sideways. We've got that bearish trend line keeping us in the downtrend there on the daily chart. Initial test there, second, third, fourth. Again, still saying we're due a fifth and probably a break of that, but we could be seeing another move to the downside before that happens. Then let's see a move back up again, and that could give us a better opportunity to look to buy back this pair. Again, support all along here, better opportunity to buy back the pair, because again the market is more extended, deeper support, stronger support as well, and it could be a nice place to look to buy the market. But here, no real setup for us. And UCCHF starting to look bullish again as well. Like I'm saying on the daily chart, we're rolling over to the downside here. We saw the momentum take us to the downside when we broke through this support through the market here. Really nice support, broke through it, Again, some to use the CAD, nice push to the downside, but here you can clearly see on the daily chart we are losing momentum to the downside here. We've had our breakout, now we're just losing momentum, and it looks like we're just correctly moving to the downside. You can see multiple days of small body candles, a lot of wicks to either side, a lot of indecision in the market. We did see a little bit of a drop yesterday with that Thursday candle, but again, you can see today we're almost completely retracing that same move there on the 4-hourly as well. So again, if the market wants to continue to the upside, that could easily happen. Momentum is running out to the downside. I could easily see the bulls take this higher, go and retest some previous support, now time resistance around this area, and either roll back over and continue that bearish trend, or maybe start a bigger counter trend move where you could potentially see the 200 move average hit and some previous highs getting taken out. So for UCCGF, bias is probably to the upside for more of a pullback now, since we've had that push to the downside. So expecting a pullback to see in the market here, maybe a pullback to this area at least. But for me, going to be waiting for candles to close and see how they close at 2 p.m. because again, we still got about an hour and 20 minutes before the current 4H candle closes, and we can easily see price pullback and even close bearish there. So again, don't want to jump the gun too early and don't be in a trade that I shouldn't have been in the first place. So again, we'll be seeing how the market play out throughout the day. Probably might just wait till next week before I take any trades as well, because again, the market volatility, the volume is going to be starting to dry up as we get nearer to the end of the day where the weekly and the daily candle closes. So again, could be looking to take some trades early next week on Monday, Tuesday, and possibly UCCHF could be one of them to take this higher to the upside. But for me, might just leave that pair alone for now. Currently in CAD JPY and CHF JPY, both short trades for CHF JPY and CAD JPY, looking to capitalize on a move to the downside, more of a counter trend move, since for both of them we're back at these highs on the daily time frame, and just looking to capture a counter move. However, the bigger picture, I'll probably do expect price to go and break through that resistance and continue higher. But for now, because it's a strong weekly and daily zone, again, I capitalize on that on the 4-hourly chart, capitalize on the pullback there, and then probably see if the market will take that higher. So again, still in those two trades, going to see how they develop for the rest of the day. I'll probably again still be talking about them next week. I'll hold them over the weekend and probably be talking about them again next week during my live stream for the next week. So I hope you all enjoyed the live stream today, and if you did, make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you found this useful. If you haven't already, make sure you join me on my Telegram channel. I'll left a link to that in the live chat and also in the description below. So we post a lot of different trading setups throughout the week, and don't be missing out on that, so make sure you check that out. But like I said, it's the end of the live stream. I hope you found it all useful. But like I said in the live stream, until the next one, I'll see you later.